Jake? Were you the little fat boy?
No, but I used to like to beat him up. You know, I grab him, I go, why are you so fat? Why are you so fat?
So they get to Nantucket, and we're introduced to the two best characters in the entire movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The Stork twins.
I'm with stupid. They wear the shirts wrong.
Egg is played by Bobcat Goldthwait.
Someone made this comparison. He's basically Animal from the Muppets in real life in this movie.
Ooh,
isn't he?
I like that.
He's like, ah!
Yeah.
Like he can't stand still.
Oh, your Bobcat's way better than mine. I should have had you do the intro.
I'm neurotic.
Welcome to Buzzn The Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Our mission is to take you on a most excellent adventure through time. Buzzn The Tower is so much more than a podcast. It's the map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And all you have to do is sit back, listen, and repeat after me. Klaatu! Barata! Buzzn The Tower answers the questions you didn't even know you had. Like who would win in a fight, John Rambo or Hans Gruber? Or who is dreamier, Jake Ryan or Marty McFly? So as we rank, debate, and offer fresh takes of the best from 80s cinema, please remember, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to a podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Don't forget to subscribe to Buzzn The Tower on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For bonus content, you can find us on all social media channels by searching our handle at Buzzn The Tower. For more podcasts, information, or to contact us with topics you'd like us to talk about, visit our website, buzznthetower.com. That's BUZZN, thetower.com. Buzzn The Tower is brought to you by Verde Media. Max, I couldn't be happier with the way our website looks.
So good.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at our website yet, you need to right away. These guys, website development, online marketing, they are outstanding. Am I exaggerating at all?
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend having them build you one.
I love it. I love it. Look, they're the best of the best. And working with John, their owner, a self-admitted 80s martial arts movie nerd, was an absolute joy.
Is that why you said the best of the best?
That is why I said that was a tip of the hat to John. They're more than our sponsor. They're our partner. And if you are looking to build a website, they are the group to go to. Find their link on our website and check them out, Verde Media. Today's episode, One Crazy Summer. You may have heard, but Buzzn The Tower is more than just a podcast. As 80s film historians, we have a moral obligation to educate our friends, our enemies, and our communities. Today, we evoke our civic duty as we talk about a hidden gem called One Crazy Summer. By the time this episode is over, you'll understand why this movie is a summer classic. I'm Mo Shapiro, and joining me as always, the Clay Stork to my Egg Stork, Max Sanders. And with that, oh, yeah, thank you. I will have some cookies. Ah!
What? Who are you doing? Bobcat? Is that a Bobcat?
That is the worst imitation that I have in my pocket. Yeah. Cookies. It's terrible. I should have literally
There's only
picked
one Bobcat.
There's a million other ways that I could have introed. I immediately regretted it. Max, One Crazy Summer.
I can't believe we're doing this movie.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is a total
This is one for us.
bang or bust, right?
Yeah. No, this is for us. This is like,
this is for
screw
you and
everyone else. We're doing one that we enjoy.
I suspect that the people that like this podcast are people that love this movie. I'm willing to run that risk. If you're listening to Buzzn The Tower, you love One Crazy Summer.
Savage Steve Holland. You got to.
One Crazy Summer is like the evil redheaded stepchild of Savage Steve Holland. Everybody knows Better Off Dead.
You forgot.
Because my ranking is not that. I go One Crazy Summer first.
I think they're tied.
I'm not even a Better Off Dead fan. Huge fan.
Don't say that.
Sorry, it's not like I said it in like
Howard
Goonies.
Cosell.
Easy now, easy. Max, before, as always, I keep on saying, like, we get into these episodes, I'm like, before we go any further, let's talk about.
Do you know the street value of this mountain?
Max, pull it together. I need your focus.
Okay.
I need your eyes on me.
Curtis Armstrong.
Are you ready?
What?
You're not focused yet.
Ack.
Our last contest.
Yep.
Our contest winner. Go look at our Instagram page. Go look at our Facebook page. If you want to see who the winner is, don't be so lazy. Go check out our social media. Our next contest. What do we have? Our next contest, same flavor, right? Starting today, go to our YouTube page, follow our YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube page, comment on one of the videos, and throw a little hashtag on there. A little hashtag something 80s movies. You pick. What are some things you could put in there?
Hashtag you touched my car.
I couldn't hear you guys say a little louder.
You touched my car.
Perfect. I love it. Hashtag one crazy summer. Hashtag.
I got nowhere else to go.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I got nowhere else to go.
Oh,
Do it in
man.
caps.
You're yelling up a
Want the
storm.
wall.
I'm gonna have to edit out all the clipping from your loud. God. All right. Anyways, I'm going
What's
down.
yours?
I'm always sticking with my classic.
Game over, man.
Hashtag dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Oh.
But I could say it the right way.
Yeah.
Should I say it like Bobcat?
Yeah.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Sounds like you're being stabbed.
It's terrible. Dead or alive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find the link on our website, or you can search Buzzn The Tower, or it's YouTube/Buzzn BUZZN The Tower.
And it's like really fun. There's like video clips and
You'll love
picture
it.
stuff.
You'll love it. It's the best. It is the best. And before I forget, another plug, because this is big. We got some big stuff going down.
We doing 80s happy hour?
80s Happy Hour, Thursday, July 29th. Right now. Well, not right now. Listen to the rest of this podcast. And then go to Instagram and search for 80s Happy Hour. Follow them on Instagram. That way you'll get the alerts when this goes live. It's
80,
on. It's
not
on.
spelled.
Yes, 80. It's on Instagram Live, hosted by John and Timmy,
80s masters.
Jedis,
Gurus.
absolute studs. We are going to be their guests, Max and I, the fearsome twosome.
Martin and Riggs.
Yeah,
Wait,
there
no,
you
Riggs
go.
and Murtaugh.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
I said
Martin and Riggs. That's great. It's great. We're going to be on the show as their guests. We're going to talk about all things Buzzn The Tower. And we're also going to do a live version of our Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. And we're going to take some viewer feedback. And if you are one of the viewers that we use, one of the listeners, one of the people that are watching this Instagram live, you can win an 80stees.com, our sponsor, $50 gift card.
Can I win?
You cannot. We have enough t-shirts.
I want more.
The people need t-shirts. So just a reminder.
People need t-shirts.
They do. Let them eat cake. So just remember.
Why are you doing it like RoboCop?
I don't know. No more RoboCop. I have exhausted my RoboCop imitation.
Yeah, you go through Happy Birthday Polly.
To
RoboCop.
Comedy
What's your
Dead or
next
Alive.
phase?
I don't know.
Short
something.
Stubby Susie.
Short Stubby Susie was there for a while. So just please remember to check it out. July 29th, Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific.
Be there or be a square.
Other than that, I have nothing to talk about other than One Crazy Summer.
The craziest.
The craziest of summers. Max, would you like to start tee off? You take first at the tee. Swing your driver.
Okay.
What is this movie? Tell me about this movie. If I've never heard of One Crazy Summer, we meet for a cup of coffee, just two friends chatting. What do I need to know? You're like, hey, buddy, haven't seen you in a while. Let me talk to you about One Crazy Summer.
Okay. 1986.
Good year. Not
Yeah.
the best year, but a good year.
Yeah, Samantha, if you hear this, 1984 is the best movie year.
So you should know, Max is embroiled with some
Like
serious,
cooking? Okay.
With what?
Embroiled? I
Yeah.
don't know that word.
Embroiled.
Is it like broiling a chicken?
Yeah, you're embroiled with a chicken.
Oh.
Samantha, you're not a chicken.
Yeah.
Max is
Gonzo here?
Max is engaged. Is that better? Engaged?
No, because my girlfriend's going to be like, Max is engaged with Samantha?
Max is having deep, passionate conversations with a woman on Instagram who's arguing what the best year was for 80s films.
It's 84.
Right.
Terminator, Gremlins, come on.
Yeah. So
Ghostbusters,
so
Beverly Hills Cop.
Samantha, I'm shooting the
Never Ending Story.
Max is fired up. He's like, he'll text me like, are you seeing what the Samantha girl's saying? Because like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, go get her, Max, go get her. But no, we love you, Samantha. And thank you for the wonderful review that you left us. That was very kind, even though you hate Max, but we still appreciate it. So anyways, Max, tell me about One Crazy Summer. Not that I need you to, because boy, oh boy, can I talk to you
Yeah,
about this movie.
Is this one of your top 5 favorite 80s movies?
So it's really tough. You talk first. Tell what the movie's about, and then I'm going to tell you why it's tough for me to qualify if it's a top 5.
Okay, Samantha's favorite movie year, 1986. Begrudgingly, great year. Probably second best year. Maybe third best. 85 is really good too.
You're doing a great job covering One Crazy Summer.
An aspiring teenage cartoonist and his friends come to the aid of a singer trying to save her family's property from developers in Nantucket. And there's boat racing, there's animation. The 80s is the king of the kind of rom-com teen movies. You think John Hughes, Say Anything, Can't Buy Me Love, and also the satire movies like Airplane, Top Secret, Ruthless People, just kind of like wonky movies. Rarely is there a combination of the two where you laugh out loud at the ridiculousness of it, but rarely do they come together where you're just having a good time, but you're caring about what's actually happening. I cared if Cassandra's house was going to get taken. And it's like,
you mean the house that you don't ever see.
you never see anyone in it.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So you did a wonderful job. I'm going to add a couple sprinkles if I may.
Do it. Parmesan cheese, shave, Olive Garden
absolutely.
meat, right?
Keep
Keep it going.
I would like some fresh crushed pepper too. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. And this is Savage Steve Holland. That's actually his name. We'll talk about him in a moment.
You know, I got the name.
All right, we'll talk about that in a moment. I guess that's what that means when I say we'll talk about it in a moment. Written and directed by him. The thing that's incredible, and Max, you touched on it, Airplane is non-stop satire.
Naked
Gun, Hot Shots, Part 1 and Part 2.
It's Part 1 in the 80s? I don't think
It doesn't matter. Okay. It's just a good example of satire. Those movies don't have a serious moment in them.
Nope.
This movie, to your point, it has all the makings of a classic John Hughes, boy meets girl, self-discovery, save the day, and they just layer in these satirical moments from the beginning of the film to the end of the film, and it works. And it works really well. It's a fun, lighthearted, great movie. It's got some monster actors in it earlier in their career, right?
Huge, yeah.
So, you know, I said I'd sprinkle a little Parmesan and some pepper. Here's the thing. Once I get into this movie, I'm not leaving.
Yep.
So maybe we should talk about the guy who wrote the movie and the guy who directed the movie. His story is one of my favorite Hollywood stories ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So, and Max, I'm sure you're going to be able to tell me what his street address was when he grew up. So bear with me as I do this. Born April 29th, 1958. Savage Steve Holland. Cartoonist.
Yep.
Had really no major intention of ever becoming a director. And he's in high school. Was he in high school? No, he's in college at the time. Excuse me.
California Institute of the Arts.
Yes. So one day he tells his friend this heartbreaking story about a birthday party he had thrown as an 11-year-old, which nobody showed up except for a drunken clown.
Seriously?
Yeah. And like, I don't even know if it was like based on a true story or if
Sounds
it was
like Uncle Buck.
I know it's out there. So his buddy said, you should make this into a movie. This has got all the makings of like a classic, like ridiculous movie. So he makes this 7-minute short called My 11-Year-Old Birthday Party. Okay. He borrowed equipment from the live action department because remember he was doing all cartoon work at this point in his career. And all of a sudden this movie that he makes it into a couple festivals. Okay. It ends up opening at the inaugural LA Film Festival. Holland and his movie ran before this really highly anticipated cult classic called Eating Raoul.
Okay.
Which means everybody ends up seeing his because it's like opening for Def Leppard, right? When like they're just becoming Def Leppard.
The show before Seinfeld.
Bingo, you got it. So as a result of this, Henry Winkler, right? The Fonz connects with him, takes him out to lunch, and says that his movie was so funny. And Savage Steve Holland was like, well, it wasn't meant to be funny. It wasn't even meant to be a comedy. So the whole story behind this is incredible to me. This leads to him coming up with, like, he's like, do you have more stories like this? And he's like, well, yeah, I've got the story of like my girlfriend breaking up with me in high school.
Yeah, it's all based on him.
Yeah. So he throws together Better Off Dead. And because of the success of these teen movies at the time, and because of his, mind you, this is a cartoonist.
Yep.
Right? Who did one 11-minute short film. And all of a sudden they're like, here's your budget, go. They put him on they literally just let him go. And if you listen to his interviews when Steve Holland's talking about Better Off Dead, he's like, I can't even believe it worked because like we didn't know what we were doing. We literally, I guess this is how you make a movie. Like no mentoring, no guidance. So you have like, we just last week talked about Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Like 50 years in the industry, 26 different shows.
Yeah.
Now you got Savage Steve Holland, who's a cartoonist.
Thrown into the deep end.
Immensely talented, who literally gets thrown in the deep end and comes up with Better Off Dead. That's amazing to me.
Yeah. My brain is broken. I don't know. What compares to that? I got nothing.
So after Better Off Dead,
they
saw the results and they're like, great, let's sign him up for One Crazy Summer. After One Crazy Summer, he only did one other movie. And How I Got into College, which I love. I've talked about this movie. I think that's great. But that wasn't even his movie. Yeah. They threw him in there. The original director bailed or got fired or something. Okay. So this wasn't even like he put his twist on it. I mean,
Curtis Armstrong.
Yeah, right. So when that's over, I want to jump ahead in his career a little bit.
Yep.
He has been prolific with children's television, cartoons. Eek the Cat, a bunch of stuff. I mean, do you have his list? Do you have the list? Give me the list because I know you've got the list. It's like 100 things on it, right?
So Lizzie McGuire, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show, Even Stevens. I mean, he's just a Disney master. He's a Disney Nickelodeon god.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does all of that.
He should come back. They should like Pulp Fiction him.
I don't even think, why does he even want to? Like, he's already done everything he needs to do.
The way he does animation and like this movie seems more modern or advanced. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but if you had no budget.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine if he got like a $20 million budget and like new technology and animation stuff.
That's fair. He could do some wild stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how we get Savage Steve Holland.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on him before we jump into...
You know he's got his name, right? He kicked a kid in the teeth during a soccer game.
I did know this.
Yeah.
You've told me this before.
Yeah. It was on the Drafting the Perfect 80s Comedy.
That's right.
Except right before my Weird Al pick. Which
God, the Weird Al pick.
he's a good actor in UHM.
All right. Anyways, so One Crazy Summer gets overlooked like crazy because of Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
John Cusack himself, who is the star of One Crazy Summer, didn't even want to be in it. Didn't like it. Wasn't because he wasn't happy with Better Off Dead.
The reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Man, go.
No, go.
Cusack didn't even want to be in One Crazy Summer, and I guess he was like super moody and crappy for the beginning of it, but eventually he enjoyed it and it was a fun experience.
Yeah, and it got good reviews. So
Right.
he's like, yeah.
So let's jump into One Crazy Summer.
Let's do it.
So One Crazy Summer, John Cusack plays Hoops McCann.
He does.
And this movie's so good. I'm so excited to talk
You know what the
about
tagline is?
For one great, no, I don't. Tell me. I'm excited.
They're out of school, out on Nantucket, and out of their minds. With this crowd, anything can happen.
So
Get ready.
everything about this movie is so great. It's not too campy, but to your point, it has these satire moments in it that are absurd. So his name is Hoops, and his dad, we learn, was either a professional basketball player or really good at basketball.
Yeah.
The beginning of the movie is this ongoing animation that he does. He's a great cartoonist.
Fuzzy little bunnies.
The fuzzy, cute and fuzzy bunnies,
Yeah,
right?
there it is.
So he's drawing a picture of what he sees himself as. So I've talked to you about this before, about how Jim Henson saw the character of Gonzo of being who he was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Kermit of who he wanted to be. He saw himself as a weirdo, but the leadership and everything. So it's kind of nice when you see this movie, this rhino, this big kind of overweight monster rhino with these like beautifully drawn cartoon cats or cartoon women. That's what Savage saw himself as, and that's what Cusack or Hoops sees himself as well.
Yeah, he needs a Uzi submachine gun, Israeli submachine gun.
My God.
When the rhino
Shoots them all up,
shoots
it's
them all up,
great.
you're like, oh my God, what am I watching?
Yeah, it's great. So in order for him to get into art college, he has to get a scholarship. In order to get that scholarship, he has a summer project that he has to do a full animation of love, a story about love.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do I know about love?
Nothing.
So he goes to his high school graduation, and at his high school graduation, he's there with his best friend, George Calamari. George is the best.
He's Freddy from Mad Men.
Yeah. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's got a whole bunch of roles. So they're at graduation. There are these moments. They all throw their cap and gowns, and like one of the hats stabs a guy in the back, and they just like set him down dead on the chair. These are the satirical moments you're talking about that are like Airplane and The Naked Gun.
Or George goes, what's this word? He goes, your last name. He goes, oh.
I've learned a lot these last 4 years. So
and generic high school. That's where he graduated.
they cut to like a picture of the high school. It's called generic high school. So they go to pick up George's little sister, whose name is Squid.
Of course.
Squid Calamari.
She's awesome.
She's great. She's got this dog who's got like a cone on and like tape on her ears. And you and I could really spend a long time talking about this movie because it's so
analyzing
absurd.
the little parts.
And I don't want to go scene by scene, but I'll try to
face freezing though.
Right. So like these other little girls are making fun of how ugly her dog is.
Yeah.
So the crossing guard is like, kids better not do that. If you get slapped in the back, your face will stay like that forever. They slap the two little girls in the face. They have this horrific, like mutated face. And that's the running gag.
Yeah.
So again, like this Naked Gun satire. So I'm rambling, but I want to get to the meat and potatoes of this.
Yep.
They go to Nantucket. The great part about Hoops is an artist whose name is Hoops, who cannot shoot a basketball to save his life.
He tries to like crumple up his paper, can't even get it in.
You look at in his room, he's got like this waste paper basket, and there's just like crumpled paper all around it, nothing in the basket. He hates boats and he hates the water.
Yep.
Doesn't realize that Nantucket's an island. In large part, the reason he's going to Nantucket is because his parents are terrible, or his mom is. Like she basically is like, you're going to be a street cleaner. Yeah. As like they're going down the line at high school graduation, and the names on the cars are so amazing. It's like Buffy, Teddy, Johnny, Princess, King, and it has big bows on it.
Yep.
Did you get a high school graduation gift car? I didn't get one.
I got one when I was 16.
Of course you did. Jesus
I crashed
Christ.
it right away.
That's right. You told me that.
Week one.
Yeah. What was it like? Ferrari, Mustang?
It was a Passat. But I mean, I loved it. But
All right.
into a parked cop's car in front of school in the rain.
Christ.
I told you this before.
I know, but every time you say it, it just reminds me of it. It's amazing. They're going to go to Nantucket with George, and they're going to stay with George's grandma, who is hilarious in this
funny,
movie.
yeah.
So they get out there, and on their way at this like toll station to get gas, or not even toll, it's a gas station. Why do I call it a toll station? They meet Demi Moore.
Yes, they do. Cassandra
Eldritch, right?
Yep.
And she is like this hippie musician who's going to the island because her grandfather owns a home with a bunch of elderly people in it. It's like a retirement home.
It's about more intricate than I remember.
It's about to be foreclosed on. And the love, you could feel the love starting, right?
Yep.
He meets her there because she's running from a biker gang.
Yep. With a guy with pink hair checkered pants, and he's like 7 feet tall. Do you know who that is?
No, who is it?
It's John Mazuka. Is that how you say his name?
Oh, Sloth?
Yes,
From the
Sloth.
Goonie? Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's incredible.
Isn't that amazing?
That's absolutely incredible. So again, he's chasing after her, and they get in the car, and they're going
throws
to the
money
ferry,
around.
and
Chaos.
they're heading to the ferry to go to Nantucket. And Sloth
Yeah.
on his motorcycle goes into the water, and when he comes up from the water, there's fish stuck in his mohawk, like they jabbed the fish. That's the type of silly stuff that's in this movie. So they get to Nantucket, and we're introduced to the two best characters in the entire movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The Stork twins.
I'm with stupid. They wear the shirts wrong.
Egg and Clay Stork.
We need those shirts.
We do. Egg is played by Bobcat Goldthwait. You may have heard me try to imitate him at the beginning of this.
So someone made this comparison. He's basically Animal from the Muppets in real life in this movie.
Ooh,
isn't he?
I like that.
He's like, ah!
Yeah.
Like he can't stand still.
Oh, your Bobcat's way better than mine. I should have had you do the intro.
I'm neurotic.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
You are a little bit neurotic like him. All of these guys are essentially friends with George Calamari.
Yep, Calamari.
Yeah, and they get introduced to Hoops, who becomes their friends, but you get the
And
Stork.
Claire is cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you get the Stork brothers that get introduced, and then shortly after that, you meet the antagonist of the movie,
Teddy.
Teddy. Teddy is Zapka 2.0.
Yeah, Teddy
He's-
Beckerstead.
He's absolutely Billy Zapka.
What happened to Matt Mulhern, the guy who played him? Like, I love him in this
What
movie.
else was he in?
Nothing.
Right?
Like zero. Like,
But he was a perfect 80s bad guy,
Yeah,
right?
you have to go-
80s high school bad guy.
you have to go 2 layers deep on IMDb to find him.
Really?
Like, it's hard.
Well, you know who his dad is, right?
It's the dad from the Twisted Sister video, too.
Max. Tell me that
What?
you
That's
know.
a big one.
That's not the biggest one.
What?
Animal House.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, Max,
Yeah.
no, you're kidding me.
I'm a zit.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the way bigger one.
Okay, yeah.
Max Niedermeyer. Doug Niedermeyer. I know you haven't seen this movie. I mean, there's so many quotes like a pledge pin on your uniform. Like he is the worst. Him and Kevin Bacon. Like, oh God, you got to see this movie. I can't believe you.
Kevin Bacon's in Animal House?
I listen to me. Look at my eyes. I understand it's not an 80s movie. No, keep your eyes back on me right now. Promise me in the next 24 hours you're going to watch Animal House.
No.
Promise me.
No.
Promise me.
48
Say
hours.
it. 48 hours. Deal.
Okay.
Promise me.
Promise you.
All right, good. Yes. So Niedermeyer is Teddy's father in this movie. That's a big deal.
Okay.
What's even a bigger deal is you know who the grandfather is, right?
No.
He's the old man from Christmas Vacation that smokes the cigars and sets.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Edna? Is that Aunt? No, the Aunt Edna died.
Yeah.
She died on National Lampoon Vacation. But that's the guy who smokes the cigar and has the toupee. It's the same guy. Yeah. Oh my God, I keep on forgetting. There's every once in a while, you are like a savant on these movies, and then every once in a while, I'm like, oh my God,
Because I
seen this.
suction in everything I try, and if it's not in my realm, then I don't.
Only 80s.
Yeah.
That's your.
I
That's,
got
that's your.
blinders. I'm like
I
the
know.
horse at the Kentucky
All right,
Derby.
48 hours. 48 hours.
It's a movie? I'll watch that.
I know, right? So they.
Roxanne.
You don't. I can't believe a pledge pin. Oh, we're gonna have so many quotes after you see this.
Take it.
That's why I was stunned when you went right to Twisted Sister, but that's okay. I got it. By the way,
Great mustache, by
the
the way.
role that he plays in that Twisted Sister video is literally Niedermeyer.
Yeah.
The role that he's playing in One Crazy Summer is literally Niedermeyer.
Yeah.
Like that's why you need to see it.
Lobster torture.
Yeah, he hates lobsters. So
Well, he owns a lobster restaurant.
he does,
chain, right?
So they get to the island. Hoops meets Ted and Ted's girlfriend. What's Ted's girlfriend's name? in this
Cookie.
movie? Cookie. How could I forget Cookie?
Yeah. She's great.
She's great.
It's weird. It's like, she's kind of like that girlfriend who's bored with her boyfriend, so she'll just flirt with people for no
Yeah.
reason. You shouldn't like her, but
She is likable.
she's really likable,
likable.
right?
And then of course
She got the 80s do.
Wait. Of course.
What?
This is when we also
car.
we're no. Forget the car.
You touched my car.
No.
What?
No. We're introduced to friend of the show, Jeremy Piven. We got to talk about Jeremy Piven.
Ty.
So let me tell you right now, Ty and Todd, by the
Yeah.
way, the 80s,
Ty and Teddy.
80s. What did I say? Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because Todd's another name.
Yeah.
These are like the most traditional jock jerk 80s movies.
They're wearing boat shoes and khaki
Blaine,
shorts. Yeah.
Todd,
Yeah.
Ty, Ted, Steph. Yeah, they're classic. So Jeremy Piven, if you don't know, very close friend of the show. Max created this awesome TikTok video that's the 80s evolution of Jeremy Piven's career, which, by the way, the guy who plays George Calamari didn't think he'd get the role because Jeremy Piven auditioned for the role of George Calamari, and Jeremy Piven and Cusack were best friends.
Yeah. College roommates. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So Jeremy Piven, Max creates this TikTok TikTok video and then shares it on our story or our reel or something.
Yeah, Instagram story.
And then one of
Love
our
Fool 99.
Love Fool 99, big fan
Samantha.
of ours. She's great. Different Samantha, not the one that you fight with about what the best movie year is. Want to make sure that's clear. She put it on her story, and Jeremy Piven himself took it and put it as his story on his Instagram account, which basically means he's our best friend. So Jeremy, if you're listening, we've left you a lot of messages. We'd really like to have you on the show.
He started a podcast.
He did.
He interviewed Jamie Foxx in his first one.
Oh, I think I saw. Were they smoking cigars?
Yeah.
I saw a video of that. It looked good. I got to listen to that. So Ty and Teddy, best friends. They're the protagonists in this movie. Antagonists. Thank you. God, too many big words.
I love how he noogies the Stork twins and like takes them off like Larry, Moe, and Kerr. Like,
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's the story, right? They got to help save the house with all the old people in it. They got to help save Cassandra.
Well, and Teddy's dad wants the house so he can open up his
Lots,
giant complex condo complex.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
always what were we just talking about? The same thing. There was the Goonies. It was the same thing with the Goonies. Man, that's kind of is that like a big 80s thing? Like everybody was getting development done and their houses were being knocked down.
It's a great story. You got to save the community.
So then we're introduced to Ak.
Yeah.
And let me be like explicitly clear here. Anything that Booger is in, I love.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Curtis Armstrong.
Yeah, he's great, man. He was great in Risky Business. He was great in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
What else is he in? What am
How
I
I Got to
blanking on?
College.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't How I Got to College. And what else?
He plays Snot on American Dad.
He does. Which every time you tell me that, I'm like, oh, that's right. So the whole gang comes together. Oh, and by the way,
You got Joe Flattery as General Raymond too.
Yes.
He's the Happy Gilmore.
He is the Happy Gilmore. Yep.
Hey, Shooter, want to get some grub?
He's also Second City TV guy.
Yeah, SGTV.
SGTV. And then the crazy uncle.
Yeah.
Who's the best. He locks himself in his room every summer, waiting for the $1 million radio chime to go off. So you walk into the room and it's just like cigarettes everywhere, dark and smoky.
He seems crazy.
He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. Have I covered all of the characters? There's a lot of tips of the hat to Jaws in this movie.
Yeah, they play the Jaws theme song.
Well, not just that. There's the scene when they're walking on the beach and Ak sees the doll in the seaweed, which is a play on when they found the body on the shore.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing where half the arm is sticking out.
And they're filming a movie about a rabid dolphin.
Yeah, they're shooting. The name of the movie was Foam. It was about a dolphin with rabies, which is absurd. And they're shooting the sequel to it, of all things.
Dolphins are mean.
And it's Nantucket. Obviously, that's like the big tip of the hat to Jaws.
You know, dolphins can beat up a shark.
Yeah,
they can like headbutt it to death.
Yeah.
What?
It's nose butt, not head butt. I think they use their nose, not their head.
I think they use their head.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Their head's soft. Their nose is.
You touching dolphin heads?
No, I have swam with dolphins.
Did you touch the head? Was it soft?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Oh.
I was a different man.
So stupid.
All right, where are we in the movie?
The mortar range.
Did we get to the mortar range? I don't remember getting to the mortar range.
Ak.
Yes, they meet Ak, who's
collecting shells for his dad.
His father's a full-blown nut job.
Yeah.
Ex-military.
Yep.
And runs like army surplus store.
Yep.
So Ak is in the sand collecting mortars as they are literally being shot into the sand because they make good paperweights.
Good explosions too.
Yeah, it was good. And the movie itself is just kind of like one goofy sequence of failure after another.
Yep.
Right? It's a very classic, paced out.
Every 15 minutes, there's a laugh out loud scene.
There's some laugh out loud scene, right? So as this new friendship, this new group kind of pair each other together, what we find out is that in order to save Cassandra's house, she needs like $5,000, which is so funny because I understand that there's inflation, but $5,000 is not a lot of money. Even back in 1986, it really wasn't that much.
I don't think they were focused on the details.
No, it just seems like they could have found other ways to get the money.
To the house that we've never even seen.
So Teddy is a little bit of a possessive boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
who doesn't want to work, by the way.
No. Oh, that's a great scene. Yeah, no, that's
His
great.
dad's like, if you don't win the regatta, you're going to have to get a...
No.
And he's like, don't say it. Don't say it. Go to work.
Great call, because that's a huge part of the story arc, right?
Yeah.
So the grandfather, Teddy's grandfather, he gives them all their money. All the wealth comes from him. And all he asks in return is every year they have to win the Nantucket Regatta.
Yep.
They don't win that trophy, they lose all their money. So of course Teddy's got the best boat, and all he does all day long is swim laps, hangs out with Cookie, acts like a jock.
Yeah, and he's got his Ferrari. His license plate said, see you later.
Custom license plates is such an 80s thing.
Oh my God.
So you got So Cool from Adventures in Babysitting, the jerk boyfriend. His license plate said So Cool.
That's incredible.
You've got Out of Time from Back to the Future.
Obvious one. You got Awesome 50 from Cobra.
Cabretti, because he's got that 1950 Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. You've got
what's the Ferris Bueller's? It's Anxious, right?
Oh yeah. It is. Yeah, good call. You should know that one.
Yeah.
As the story progresses, you have a budding romance taking place between Cassandra and Hoops.
Yeah, he draws for her.
It's really cute.
You could argue that Titanic stole from this.
Such
It's a fragile man.
Draw me like your Nantucket girls.
Well, he draws her with a gorilla.
Oh, man.
Remember?
Yes, I remember.
It's like we're talking about the movie.
Max. So anyways,
Predator's the first DJ.
Hoops double books himself.
Yeah.
He says Cassandra's playing a show at the Dewdrop Inn. Dewdrop Inn.
That'd be a great shirt.
Do you know the only?
80s tees.
Do you know
Let's get that done.
the only bar that's better than the Dewdrop Inn is
Double Deuce.
No, the Regal Beagle from Three's Company.
Double Deuce is better.
For the Double Deuce, yes, I agree. But the Regal Beagle's got a cool name.
Yes. I will agree.
Yes.
I will concur.
Why didn't we think of the Dewdrop Inn when we were doing our bar episode? We didn't even mention it.
Because real genius. Purgatory.
I know, but we still should have mentioned it. Okay, so he says that he's going to go and support her, right? Because she's like, oh, you could really help me. I'm going to try to raise money by doing a show.
She got a good voice too. She's kind of sherish.
Oh my God, we haven't even said who Cassandra is.
Demi
We haven't
Moore.
even said. Did we say Demi Moore?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, for a minute I was like, oh my God, we didn't. This
like
is
her raspy voice.
This is like early in her career.
About Last Night came out a month before that.
Right. So this is like her. I mean, she's playing a big prominent role.
How do you feel about Demi? What? How dare you?
I'm sorry.
G.I. Jane,
G.I. Jane, I loved her.
when she breaks Viggo Mortensen's nose.
I think her recent
Seek life elsewhere.
I think her recent stuff, like she just gives me like the heebie-jeebies.
Watch now and then.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
Oh, no, watch Animal House before you tell me to watch anything.
Yeah.
There you go. So
And St. Elmo's Fire.
I love her in St. Elmo's
Yeah,
Fire.
she's like the most 80s
I like
girl
her
ever.
early stuff. Her early stuff is great. So
Do you know? Wait, I'm sorry. One last rant.
I literally can't get a word out. Go ahead.
She has the talent. She can cry out of either eye. She can do one teardrop out of eye. Like you can say, I want 3 teardrops out of your right eye. She can do that.
Yeah,
So remember in
that's-
Ghost, she can. Yeah.
So, Ghost. There you go. You should have said Ghost.
Well, that's the crying.
I know, but forget the crying. I would have said, like I love her.
You know,
in
the
Ghost.
director of Ghost was the director of Airplane.
of Airplane. Yeah, the Zucker, one of the
Yeah,
Zucker brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, I did know that. I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Why haven't you memorized everything we've said over all these episodes?
You're dragging. Let's get back to
all
one
right.
crazy-
You can tell you get back to it. So, anyways, he double dates. He already double books. He makes a date to go with Cassandra, but then Cookie says, "Why don't you come and watch a movie with me? Let's go,
Are you
go
ready
to the
for me,
drive-in
Hoops?
theater." Yeah. So she's insane, right? So she's dating Teddy,
Yep.
but Teddy's got to go to this banker's event at
Yep.
his dad's house. It's celebrating the Beckerstadt estates and the foreclosing of the Eldritch estate, which is
Taking over the
Cassandra's-
town.
Yeah, basically. So they have a whole plan mapped out.
It's genius.
as of course one
Mission
would.
Impossible-esque.
Yeah, they got to have a plan mapped out. So the Stork brothers are picking up a little extra. They work at a garage, their dad's garage. They're picking up a little extra money doing security on the set of Foam. And there's a trailer with all these costumes in it. So they're going to stay there and watch that trailer. If one of the Stork brothers, who is supposed to be at Teddy's party, sees that Teddy abruptly leaves, they're going to alert George, who's
Yep.
going to alert Hoops so that he bails out of the party and that nothing bad happens. He doesn't get busted with Cookie.
Yeah.
The problem is that Egg Stork, played by Bobcat Goldthwait,
Tries on the
Godzilla costume.
Great Godzilla costume.
Great. And gets stuck in it.
Can't get out.
So he runs, waddles, Godzilla stomps over to this party. And while he's hiding in the bushes, the quote that I did at the intro about cookies was him eating cookies in the Godzilla costume.
Yep.
The grandfather throws his cigar out that falls into Godzilla's mouth,
Uh-oh.
creating smoke and what looks like fire. And while he's choking and dying,
Yeah.
he runs over to this model right out of Beetlejuice of
Yeah.
the town, stomping on all the buildings. And it's like basically a remake of Godzilla.
Yeah, while an Asian man is laughing.
Right.
And everyone's
It's
panicking.
super culturally insensitive, but
and there's like
whatever.
sparks are flying.
And they do it in slow-mo.
And Bobcat's voice is like Godzilla-y. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If someone's like screaming in that voice.
Godzilla-y. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. For the short of it, let me say this. As Max and I are rambling through this movie and talking about like why we love it and what happens, the bottom line is much like all classic teen 80s movies, there's the moment where like the goal, the thing they have to do, right?
Yeah.
The race they have to win down the mountain. The bike race, the car race, the thing they have to accomplish, the
big
fight,
dance,
the
yeah.
All Valley tournament. Like
Yeah.
there's that one thing. So they throw this huge concert. I'm skipping parts, but I don't care. They throw this huge concert. They get everybody to show up.
Great montage. They do Anne Lennox's Would I Lie to You?
You know what? There's a lot of music. Should we pause for a minute and talk about the soundtrack?
They use 3 Beach Boys songs.
Yeah.
Where did they get the money for that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, probably because they didn't spend a lot of money on anything else.
Would I Lie to You is a great 80s song.
oh, yeah.
And that's when they're doing the animation to like.
I remember.
Yeah,
Would
yeah.
I lie to you? Ooh. And then they're showing it on top of the screen at the drive-in theater.
Yeah.
And everybody's throwing popcorn at them and telling them to stop.
I love that Cookie eats like a whole vat of popcorn, by the way.
Yeah, she's got an appetite.
Yeah.
So
It's weird.
this movie's super weird.
Yeah.
So they throw this big kind of concert at the Dewdrop Inn. They pack the place. They raise all the money they need, but it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Because
the bank foreclosed.
The bank foreclosed anyways. And then you have like this evil scene where Niedermeyer, but you don't even get that when I say that, kicks Squid's dog. Like the most unnecessary violence against pets ever. It's like makes me uncomfortable watching it even to this day. Kicks the dog. They're all at the animal hospital.
Where a dog's wheeling
a cat. These are another classic satirical, absurd moments. So Ak, who has been thrown out of his house because he won't join the military. These are little side stories we didn't get into, but basically he is like this soft, emotional young man, and his dad wants him to be a Marine, and it just isn't going to happen. So they're in the animal hospital. All is lost. The money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cassandra is losing the house.
This is our low point.
They don't know what to do. So one of them says they need a plan.
Oh, they need a plan.
And Ak starts repeating his father's quote, which is, a plan. Without a plan, there's no attack. Without tack, there's no victory. I love that quote.
They're like George Patton or something.
Big time.
Yeah, is
Big
it?
time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Who knows? This movie's borrowing from a lot of different things. So they come up with a plan. All they have to do to save the house is they got to take the one thing that Teddy needs. And Max, what's the one thing that Teddy needs?
The regatta win.
They got to win the regatta. So all they need is a boat. This cuts to, I put it right up there with like Rocky IV montages.
The boat making montage.
Even the music. Da, 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 da. I love the whole scene. Like they have this crappy piece of crap.
Yeah.
Did I say it was crappy?
Yeah.
It's super crappy boat. They shave the paint off. They fix the wood.
In like one day.
And they put the boat back together.
Yeah. And they make like flames and all. It's
It's called the boat. And then Cassandra christens it with a little something that George's parents brought back from their trip
It's
to
like
Europe.
a mini bottle of
It looked
Cuervo.
like Cuervo, right?
And it breaks the boat.
It breaks the boat. So they're only missing one thing because in a regatta, I don't know if you know this or not.
You need a captain?
A regatta is one part sailing and one part motorboating.
Is that real?
And I'm not talking the type of motorboating, the wedding crashers. That's real. Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Do you know that I've been in a regatta?
No.
Yeah.
Were you good?
We won. How crazy is that? When I lived in Australia, my girlfriend at the time, her parents were like big into sailing. And I was like, what about Bob? I'm like, I'm sailing. And we were in this like little yacht club regatta and I almost sunk their jib. So I think jib is like the little small sail that you get extra wind. And I didn't pull the rope quick enough. So it fell into the water and started taking on an enormous amount of water, which would capsize the boat. So I started pulling it real quick and I almost destroyed their boat, but we won the regatta.
I don't buy it. Mo's girlfriend from Australia, message me. I want evidence. I also want to talk to you about young Mo.
Jesus.
I want pictures.
Oh my God. That's super weird. So anyways,
Good day.
there you go. Good day. So boats.
Summer Rental did this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the summer rental regatta was fantastic.
Which one's better?
Oh God. One Crazy Summer.
Yeah.
It's way better. Come on.
So Hoops has a Viking helmet.
Yeah.
They have custom military
Bowling
helmets.
shirts.
Yeah.
And they have bowling shirts.
And they do like they definitely planned a dance.
Oh, yeah.
And then they give the
Dun, 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 dun.
and then they give Teddy and his group the finger.
Coming out around the world. The whole thing's absurd.
Yeah.
So they get to the regatta, but they need one thing before they get to the regatta. They need an engine for that boat.
Yeah.
And the best that they come up with at first is who was it? Akax?
No, it's Calamari's.
It was Calamari's chainsaw.
No, it was a little dinky boat engine.
Before we even talk about that, it's definitely time to take a One Crazy Summer sponsor ad.
Let's do it.
All right. You always say let's do it. Give me something better.
Go.
And there you have it. Go we shall. Buzzn The Tower is brought to you by Capsiva Pain Relieving Gel. And I can tell you that if you're sitting at a table across from a guy who has to go to the bathroom every 25 minutes, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get muscle soreness, psoriasis. Capsiva is all natural. It's okay. Capsiva is all natural and designed to increase blood flow for the healing and pain relief process. Try it for free at capsiva.com. That's CAPSIVA.com. And Max, I'm an old man and I need this kind of stuff. It works. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's like Wilford Brimley in Cocoon. You know what I mean? You feel revitalized.
That's exactly what it's like. Buzzn The Tower is also brought to you by Lindsay Larrabee Photography. If you have checked out our website, hopefully you have. You've seen the amazing photos that were put up there. Lindsay,
good.
Yeah, Lindsay and her team did all of those.
She teased my hair.
She was fun to work with. Just made the whole experience really exciting for us. She has been taking photos of families, children, and smiles in Metro Detroit since 2017. She loves what she does, and it shows. She works with her clients, catches everything in the moment, and adores watching the connections and relationships unfold in front of her lens. If you mention Buzzn The Tower, you get $25 off any family session in 2021. You can find Lindsay on our website under our sponsors page. Check her up and get some work done. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she made us look good. She can make anyone look good.
Thank God we had that ad, because honest to God, Max, I feel like we were talking 100 miles a minute for the entire first 3/4 of this episode.
There's a lot to cover.
I love this movie.
Remember in the beginning that Hoops has a cat who has the heads of birds and
on
and
its
mice?
carrier? Yeah. And we know what else we skipped too? Like my favorite scene in the whole movie when Egg tells the fat kid story.
There's once a little fat boy. He got picked on by everybody. Were you
that little fat boy? No, I grabbed him and I punched him and I said, "Why are you so fat? Why are you so fat?" That's the best part of the whole movie. That is legitimate.
Godzilla
Wait,
for me.
Hold on a second. Is Godzilla's your let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, wait, no, back up. My favorite part of this movie is when Hoops has to challenge Teddy to like a basketball contest.
Right, and they hook up Ak on the wall and make a hoop with them.
Yeah, and they're screwed. And Cassandra goes, it's like, "Oh, you know karate? I know Dow." They go, "What's Dow?" Dow is the chemical company that makes mace. And just maces
all of them. Yeah.
You just don't see it coming. You're like, "Oh!"
That's your favorite part of the whole movie? It's cocky.
Yeah.
I mean, the fat kid story is the best. It's the best scene in the whole movie. Godzilla's good too. Although I don't know, like when there's this brief moment when the uncle loses his mind after he wins the $1 million and disconnects the phone, and it just his eyes just like open up. That's pretty
I don't
good
like
too.
those moments. I feel bad for him.
You would. How do you have sympathy for him? All right, so Regatta. Teddy drops off his Ferrari.
They've also used a bazooka at this point and blown up a boat.
They did
to put lobsters in in Teddy's
pool, so he gets clipped when he's doing his laps.
There's a million things in this movie.
There's a lot going on.
This movie's an hour 33. How is that possible?
I don't know. I feel like we're at about an hour on the show, and we haven't even covered half.
Yeah.
So they need a motor for their boat. No pun intended.
Yep.
And Teddy shows up and he like punches Clay Stork in the face.
Yep.
And when Egg sees that, he loses it. He grabs the chainsaw and they shut the garage doors. And you don't know what he's doing at this point.
Yeah.
You just think he's destroying the car.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the Regatta. Hoops, after a lot of complaining because he doesn't like being on boats.
Nope.
But Cassandra helped, give him some kisses, told him that she loved him.
Motion of the ocean.
Yeah, basically gets him to be the captain on the boat. They enter in. There's music in this movie is great. It's not just the music. It's just like the
vibe.
Exactly. Like just unforgiving. Like they just don't care. It's
Summer,
like
yeah.
they bust into the room. It's like bum bum ba dum ba. So they get up there. Mr. Piven, our friend Jeremy Piven, they've got Odie on the front of their boat, takes scissors out, cuts Odie's tongue and starts eating it. But for Ak, this is like a mortal sin because he's the softest guy alive and he loses his mind. So they start the regatta. During the regatta, Niedermeyer has snuck, I love how that call me Niedermeyer makes me so happy, has snuck onto his son's boat to ensure they win. This is where it gets like a little violent. Pulls out a crossbow that he's been playing with the whole movie at this point and just starts firing off shots.
No, he hits the first one.
He did?
Yeah.
No, the first one did not hit the rope.
Oh.
The first one did not hit the rope.
Okay. Who cares?
See, I care. This is important.
Okay.
Hits I don't know the sailing to the mast. Maybe it's what's called the bow. Whatever. That's not it, but whatever.
Port.
The second one snaps a rope that needs to be there in order to pull the sail up.
Yeah.
They're all screwed. They don't
all
know what to
hands
do.
on the poop deck at this point.
So Hoops says, don't worry. Keep in mind at this point, Hoops he's the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Even when they're doing the challenge outside of the drop in and they've
couldn't
got
hit water in the ocean.
Yeah, it's the worst. He takes a small metal ball the size of a tennis ball, ties a rope to it, and throws it 40 feet up into the air and into a hole not much bigger than the ball itself.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Swish. Nails it. The arm on your hair stands up. You have goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. So they're back in the race. They start messing with the Australian boat. They knock
someone off.
They knock someone off. Ak jumps in the water to save him, which later is the redemption of his relationship with his father. I can't believe the detail we're going into this, but it's great. So they hit the turn, right? So there's like a buoy that they get to when you can flip your engine on.
Yeah.
So when that happens, they basically are like, all right, fire in the hole. They put their military hats on and they hit like this button. They blow the entire back half of the boat off and you see the back end of Teddy's Ferrari.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So now you understand why he chopped it up.
Yeah, and you see the see you later.
Yeah, which is great. And Max, I think I don't need to tell you this. They win the race.
They do.
And as they're handing over the trophy, to Teddy saying, hey man, let's make a trade. You take this, we keep the house. Grandpa steps in and says, Teddy, friendship. That's the real, I'm betting on them.
What kind of grandfather is this?
He's a lunatic. He's holding their entire fortune over their head based on like a regatta.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, you're done. Get up. Get up, you son of a Mickey loves you. He's basically Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
In a wheelchair.
Oh, the dolphin comes back and eats the dad.
Oh, because the girl's in the dolphin.
Because the sister of George is
We're
controlling it.
gonna get letters about this episode where they're gonna ask if we were like drugged prior to taking it, but we're both fine. We're sober. We haven't even had as much as a cup of coffee.
You had a cup of coffee.
I did have a cup of coffee, but that's this movie. It's a wild, wacky, insane movie.
Laughter crossbow torture.
Yeah. And
That's a bad name.
I just want to go on record. We have only pulled one episode ever from not being shown, and it was the Howard the Duck episode. And this is way better than the Howard the Duck episode.
I still love the Howard the Duck episode.
You do love it. So I know this seems like a little bit different. Usually when we do our episodes, we dive into like fun facts about the movie. But like on this one, there's not a lot of facts about this movie. But we do want people to know, like, you need to see this movie.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying. Today is literally our pitch to get you to go see this wild movie. You'll love it.
It's not all about the hits. It's about those deep cuts. You know what I mean?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, like, you talk 80s movies, you go top 10, Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, all the incredible ones. This is, for us, this is like the love letter. This is the movie that found you.
So true. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's
great movie poster, too.
Oh, it's an awesome movie
It's a big
poster.
old sun. What?
Nothing. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, I just spent an hour and a half hanging out with Max talking about One Crazy Summer, and it's a lot. It's just a lot to take in sometimes.
Just go home, cold shower.
Yeah. Although, you know what's really funny?
What?
We're not the only people that love this movie. And that leads perfectly into the Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight. Max, I think we're lucky because our Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight this week is two guys that might be just as weird as we are.
Yeah.
Because this is, I gotta put it out there right now. One Crazy Summer is a wild episode.
It takes
for
a
us.
special kind of person.
It does. So $2 late fee. This is a fun podcast. It's an 80s movie podcast, not just movie. They cover a lot of stuff.
And they get celebrities.
They have a lot of really cool interviews. I highly recommend. If you're into Buzzn The Tower, you'll be into them.
They got Mitch from Real Genius.
You are so jealous. That's like you covet that so much. We really enjoy listening to their show. You can find them on Instagram, $2 spelled out, TWO, $2 late fee.
And they have all the facts. They have like every birthday, every like obscure character from every movie. They're like the seventh lead from like Dream Warriors. They're like, happy birthday, you.
They're currently stalking
Steve Gutenberg.
Hard.
Get the goot.
Get the goot. So if you want to help them get the goot, they're funny. They've got a Patreon they just launched, so they're doing great stuff.
Yeah, Dustin and Zach.
Yeah, Dustin and Zach. Please check them out, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. We asked them to pick their favorite characters and just wax poetic about One Crazy Summer. So let's see what they got to say.
Hey there, Mo and Max. It's Dustin
and Zach
from $2 Late Fee. First of all, thanks so much for having us on the show. We really appreciate it. One note I will say is that you guys should stock your green room with something more than Skittles, because we are starving. And, Skittles are fine. We taste the rainbow.
Well, those chili dogs in the corner are not going to cut it.
Oh, you found a chili? I didn't know that those were for us to eat. I thought that...
You think that those were just props to use for role playing?
Well, they look like they've been sitting out for a while. That's why.
That's why.
That's why I said to you, I only am going to eat the Skittles. So I hope you feel okay.
Well, yeah, you didn't see that, but you're going to hear it and maybe smell it later.
Okay. Well, there's only one toilet in here. It's weird that the toilet is also just out in the green room as well.
Yeah, right in the center.
Yeah, right in the center. It's a very, very odd architectural thing.
I mean, a throne. It is called a throne in some cultures. It is golden.
So One Crazy Summer. You like that movie, don't you, Zach?
I love that movie. I love One Crazy Summer. Grew up watching it on HBO, Cinemax, repeatedly, all the time. When talking about like favorite characters from that movie, I got to go with the Stork brothers, specifically Clay Stork. He's my fave. Played by Tom Villard.
Yeah. Why do you like Clay so much?
I just like that actor, Tom Villard. He always just rest in peace because he's no longer with us. But he was a really interesting dude. You know, I loved him in Heartbreak Ridge, and he's a creepy villain in the movie Popcorn. But in this, he's like a lovable goof who you really think should be hooking up with Cookie down the lane. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, just from the perspective of he's like a really nice, genuine guy. You know, he gets picked on. I think most of the characters in this movie are getting picked on in some way, shape, or form.
Which we can relate to quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just go back to our episode on bullies, top 5 bullies. Cheap plug for our podcast, by the way. How about you? What's your favorite character in the?
Well, for me, I just want to digress a little bit because it wouldn't be a digression if I wasn't speaking or something to that effect. But
Sure.
Savage Steve Holland is the director of my favorite movie of all time, Better Off Dead. One Crazy Summer to me is not as good of a movie. It is more of a fantasy that's not so much grounded in reality, and I would go so far as to say it's more of a cartoon. Like if One Crazy Summer was animated, you'd be like, oh, that's perfect. But my favorite character is Ak, played by Curtis Armstrong.
I knew it.
For no other reason than his name is Ak. I mean,
Ak. Invaders from Mars. The aliens go Ak.
Oh, okay. That's a random thing. I don't know if Ak is named after those aliens. It could
the other
be.
way around.
Ak is a character that just wants approval from his father, and he's just like a sweet guy. Same kind of thing. He's very similar to Clay, really. You know, they're just a bunch of outcasts. They just want to prove themselves, and Ak cannot be seen as a good guy, as a worthy, heroic guy in the eyes of his father. And then by the end of the movie, he proves himself, and it's like, yay. But the thing about Ak is, and this is kind of an interesting story. I don't know if you know this. The Bobcat Goldthwait, who plays the other brother, Egg, has this great little monologue where he's talking about a fat kid.
Yeah.
Who didn't have any friends and had a twin brother, and he's clearly talking about himself. But then Ak says, "Egg, were you the little fat kid?" He's like, no, I used to, just tease him and punch him and say, why are you so fat? Well, that whole thing is apparently that whole thing was a Bobcat Goldthwait improv that he brought to Savage Steve, like the second before they were rolling, and was like, I prefer to do this. And they loved it, and that stayed in the movie. But that to me is like one of the most memorable scenes.
I concur with you all around. That is one of my favorite scenes. Not to mention the one where the girl slaps the two bullies on the back and their faces get frozen. You're from Mars. Oh, you're from Mars.
The dog is from Mars.
Mars.
What? Okay, I bet there's a connection.
I'm saying that Tim Burton was influenced by this movie. That's all I'm saying.
We'll never know. But guys, thanks for having us.
Batten down the hatches and have some smooth sailing on those tasty waves. And get a cool buzz on your tower.
Get a cool buzz on your tower. Thanks, guys.
Well, I wasn't kidding when I said that they're like us. I mean, literally the
little fat boy scene.
Oh God, it's the best. No, they nailed it, right? That's like how we feel the exact same way about this movie.
That was like the episode in 5 minutes.
They did. It was cleaner than ours. Ours took an hour and theirs took 5 minutes. But no, I mean, if you love the 80s and you love 80s movies, I actually really like the point you made about a cartoon. That's actually, we kept on dropping back and saying like satirical satire, but it's a really good point they brought up. This movie feels like a cartoon, but with some kind of real tones to it, but it's got that silliness and that little over the topness. And it's great. This episode is our love sonnet to One Crazy Summer.
Yeah. The rewatchables, every 100 episodes, they redo Heat because it's their favorite movie.
Heat is a great movie.
So, yeah. So every 100 episodes, let's do One Crazy Summer.
Maybe next time we can calm down a little bit, not be so excited.
We can go like deeply analytical.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. There's one thing. The cute fuzzy bunny gang.
Yeah.
Savage Steve Holland drew two of them to look like Siskel and Ebert. And
is it the one they mowed down or the one they blew up?
The one they blew up at the end.
Oh, that's so
Because
funny.
Better Off Dead, they slammed him.
Yeah.
So he's like, screw you. I'm going to make you bunnies and blow you up.
There you go. That's a good deep fact. How do you not have a cute fuzzy bunny tattoo?
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a great one.
Have the Happy Tree Friends. That's
a really good one too.
Yeah.
I used to watch Happy Tree Friends all the time.
I've never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
And you have a tattoo of it?
There's a Fall Out Boy video.
All right. For the love of God. All right. You got 48 hours to watch Animal House. Don't forget.
I'm just going to watch One Crazy
The clock.
Summer again.
Nope. The clock's starting now. So quick reminder. That's our show. Hope you liked it. Also, in addition to that, the contest for this week, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And just put a comment in one of the videos and do a hashtag of anything 80s movies related. Have fun with it.
Hashtag short fat boy.
Yep. And then in addition to that, subscribe, rate, review, follow, social media.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell everyone. And check
Tell
out
your grandma.
Check out $2 late fee. Again, I think you'll really like what they have. If you heard their voice and you liked what you heard in the spotlight,
Yeah,
I'm
tell
sure
your
you'll
grandma
like what
about
they do.
$2 late
Stop
fee.
saying tell your grandma. It's weird.
Okay.
Just calm down.
Tell your Nana.
There, Nana's better. Or Nanny.
Tell Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello!
That was really bad. That was like
What?
That was like Bobcat.
Hello! Can't do it. It's the worst. Max, One Crazy Summer, closing thoughts. What do you got? What do you got to sprinkle on this Sunday?
Well, this movie means a lot to me. It got me through some hard times in life. No, I mean it's just a wild, stupid movie.
It is a wild, stupid movie.
Yeah. There's no depth. If you tried to dive in the pool of this movie, you'd break your neck.
Were you that little fat boy, Max?
I was. I'm still that little fat boy.
All right, that's good.
Signing off.
As always, just a pleasure to sit across from you, you sweet little fat boy. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.